In a major blow to Microsoft, the FTC has just announced a lawsuit to block Xbox's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. And if you listen very carefully, you can hear the sound of a million fanboys screaming in outrage.
Are you listening?
Hey, welcome back, friends. Late yesterday afternoon, the FTC announced a lawsuit to block Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard, stating, and I quote here, that Microsoft's purchase would suppress competitors to the company's consoles and subscription services. And look, I have the brain of a monkey, so I'm gonna be the first to admit that I don't understand anything about monopoly laws here in the United States. Like, I get that they're meant to prevent unfair advantages and to protect consumers. But for me, one of the most interesting things about this story is how many people have just become legal experts overnight. Like, somehow the guy in my comment section who's like, PlayStation sucks massive dicks, overnight has transformed into an expert in class action business lawsuits. And again, I want to make sure that this is very clear. I am just a guy in a garage talking about video games. Nothing has changed. Now, according to the FTC's complaint, Microsoft has already shown that it can and will withhold content from its gaming rivals, specifically noting here Microsoft's acquisition of ZeniMax and how games that previously were going to be multi-console, Redfall and Starfield, are now set to be Xbox exclusives. Now, to Microsoft's credit, they have responded to these complaints with other regulators by asserting the new 10-year agreements between Xbox and Nintendo, or Xbox and Steam, guaranteeing games like Call of Duty on platforms for the next 10 years, is a prime example that the company is now willing to play ball with competitors. However, in the eyes of the FTC, they now point out that despite Microsoft's recent assertion that, hey, Activision Blizzard games will stay on other platforms, the previous acquisition of Bethesda proves that Xbox in the past has made multi-platform games exclusive after contracts expire. The FTC further noted, today we seek to stop Microsoft from gaining control over a leading independent game studio and using it to harm competition in multiple dynamic and fast-growing markets. With the FTC pointing out that Microsoft is one of two high-end consoles. They lead the industry in subscription services with Xbox Game Pass, and as far as cloud gaming goes, Xbox Cloud Gaming is either the number one or number two provider of cloud gaming in the market. Thus, in the eyes of the FTC, the acquisition of Activision Blizzard would give Microsoft an unfair advantage along with the ability to harm current and future competitors. Which, let's just break that down real quick, because saying Microsoft is one of two high-end consoles isn't completely wrong. I mean, kind of sucks for Nintendo, but it's nice to know that even the US government thinks that Nintendo is way behind the times. As for the FTC's comments about Xbox Game Pass, yeah, it's fucking awesome, and don't you dare ruin that. But what about Xbox being an industry leader in emerging technologies like cloud gaming? Man, Phil Spencer's probably thinking, if only Google Stadia was still here, who would have thought that killing your main competitor would lead to Xbox having an unfair advantage? And again, I am not a legal expert. At best, I am a professional video game fan. But the facts are, Microsoft's acquisition of Bethesda was one of the leading factors towards the shutdown of Google Stadia. With Bethesda games becoming exclusive to Xbox, it greatly limited the list of available high-end titles that could come to the Stadia platform, which diminished the attractiveness to potential players, thus diminishing the platform's competitiveness with Microsoft. So as far as an acquisition of a much larger scale, like Activision Blizzard, yeah, you definitely could make an argument that it would have a negative impact on the industry. And again, I am just a dude talking about video games in his garage. But if I can make an argument like that, imagine what a lawyer working for the federal government can do.